This is a Chevy 69 Camaro Z28 with a 302 small block V8 pushing 290 buff ponies down your goddamn throat in 7.4 seconds. When they say get some, this is the sum you gettin'. This is Camaro. That introduction pretty much says it all. This is Lego 10304 Chevy Camaro Z28 from 1969. I'm Scott, here are the bricks. Let's go with the review. And today we're going to look at probably one of the best sets I've built in all of 2022. This is the Z28, which is a wonderful classic Americana. This is a pony car, which is the competitor mainly to the Mustang. I believe actually Camaro means Mustang Eater. That's what it does. And this is just a pretty damn solid Lego set. And I think they did a fantastic job capturing the American spirit in this set. It has 1,456 pieces, which in my opinion is a little bit too many. We'll get into that in a second. 18 and up, this is with the adult building set that they have been doing recently. And it retails for about $170. I bought it for the 5x VIP weekend. I was going to get it actually for my dad for a birthday present, but I realized that he probably doesn't care for Legos, so I decided to keep it for myself. And honestly, I'm in love with this set, and it's probably one of my favorite car builds. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the review with this. Let's get into this build. First thing first, I know is a common thing we talk about when we approach Speed Champions and other car designs from Lego, but I think they do a wonderful job really capturing the curve work on the body of this car. They use all flat tiles to really give the smoothness of the body. Now I love these fender rolls right here above the actual wheels themselves, which the wheels are just fantastic. Look at those rims, nice chrome plated Lego work here, and we use some more pieces to really capture those hubcaps, which just looks mean and aggressive. And actually, it gives it a sense of realism, which I really enjoy with a Lego set when it can really capture the more realistic tone of a vehicle and not be a toy vehicle, which you get with this set. The only downside I have with these actual side panels will be the door itself, because you get the joints kind of stick out from the actual smoothness of the car, so that kind of does kill the initial run as you put your fingers across it. So you have a little bump ridge right there. But the door itself is actually pretty neat. It's not loose. It does come out very easily, and it goes out just about that far, which is realistic to how much a Camaro's door actually would come out, or a car door period. And the only thing else I would have to say that I do not like about the doors is how far out the handlebar for the actual car handle comes out with this little hinge plate. I don't like that. It's a little bit too out for me, but it's necessary for when you come in, because you really need to get that door, but you can also come through the window here. And these side view mirrors, which are kind of wonky, little paddle pieces, but you know, it's okay. More like ice cream pieces actually, but you know, they get the job done. And they don't have any stickers on here, which I wish they did, because they do use stickers for the rear view mirror and side. So a little complaint about that, but overall the sides of the car are very fantastic, and I really enjoy what they did here at Lego. And you do have two stickers in the front here with the Camaro and Z28 and a side indicator blinker on the side. These are two stickers, like I just said, and they do go well with the rest of the black. They do kind of blend in, a little more high gloss than the black is. Black will get smudgy because it is black. Lego pieces, they always smudge, so not really my favorite thing about the actual overall color of the car, but it happens when you have black colored Legos for the set. But the stickers itself do kind of blend in decently with it. Not a lot of stickers for the set overall, just enough as you needed, but it does blend in occasionally, and it looks pretty good, and it gives me the Camaro I wanted. I would prefer that to be an actual printed piece, similar like how Speed Champions does a lot of their logos, but I'll take it. So I kind of feel like they could have done it, because they do give us a lot of printed pieces here. But you know, I guess we're just trying to skim some corners on there in prices. But overall, the side profile of this car is very fantastic. So are the curves. Let's go ahead and look at the front end of the car now. Now the front end of this car is aggression, and I think that if you're going to do the 69 Camaro, you really have to pull off the front end, and Lego pulls off the fucking front end. Look at this wonderful grille using these ribbed 1x2 pieces. Look at these wonderful lights, which they actually give you some alternate ones, which is kind of cool, because the 69 Camaro does have a lot of different packages you can choose from, especially from 67 to 69. The book has some wonderful illustrations and wonderful information for that as well, but this is just comes with one of the packages. So you do get the normal headlights for that, and then you also get the rally ones, which have the covers, which you just take these off and put the rally pieces right there, which is really interesting because a lot of the pace cars they use for these also use these for the headlights as well. So that's very interesting. And this is a printed piece, not a sticker. So I feel like if they could have got a printed piece right here, they could have got a printed piece is here. Instead we have stickers. But I do think this is wonderful. Another sticker right here, the Z28 emblem, which really goes well and actually kind of goes very well with the dark bluish gray here in the grill. And you have some nice flat tiling here work here as well. Do have little studs, but that's okay. You remain slightly no stud free in this build, except for a few ones in the front. But I love this tail end, especially the splitter on the bottom here, and the two little fog lights on the bottom here, which is just fantastic overall. Now let's go take a look underneath this hood. Now this Camaro comes complete with its own wonderful engine bay. All you gotta do is lift this hood / bonnet up, which first off has this wonderful mounted scoop on it, which just looks fantastic, looks mean, looks aggression, looks like it fucks people up, and I love that it captures that look. Now my only complaint about this wonderful hood feature is that it's actually a pain in the ass to get up because there's no real way to really get it from the front, which is great because it does give it a nice smooth look, so you're not really tugging anything. So you gotta kind of touch the scoop and bring it up just like that, which can be kind of complicated. Some of the flat tile work does kind of look like it's out of place and not really staying there when you do it. So kind of wonky on design, and it doesn't go up any further than that. So you can't really get a good look at the actual engine bay itself. The engine bay itself is very basic. It's just really that V8 small block in there, the 302, which is wonderful as you see the little label right there on top of it. I think this is a wonderful rendition of the V8 small block they use in here, the 302, which was included with the 69 Z28. And you also get a wonderful label right there for the caution, because on this back side here, we have a little radiator piece, which I'm going to try and get a photo of if I can and put it in there. It's kind of hard to get around inside of it because it's just so cramped, but the engine bay itself is very nice and not a lot of details, but that V8 is just fantastic and I really love it. They use some angle plates here, the little hinge ones that move up and down. They kind of give off the actual shape of the engine, but it's well in place. And you have a steering wheel here for the carburetor, I believe. And then you have some other gribbling to give off more details for the actual V8 itself. So for the 302, this is actually really cool, and I really enjoy that a lot. That's pretty much it for the hood and for the engine bay. Let's go to the tail end of the car now. The rear end of this car is just as impressive as the front end of this car. You have a wonderful Chevy 69 license plate, which can be replaced with another one. With the Panther plate, which, if I remember correctly, was the actual code name for the original car when it was being designed. So you can put that Chevy 69 or have the California Panther one instead. So that's a nice little detail to add on to the set. You have two stickers, obviously, here for the Chevy 69 and for the Z28. It doesn't look as straight as I tried, but some of these I forgot my actual Lego separator, so I had a hard time doing it. You do have some printed pieces on the wonderful translucent red for the actual taillights, which looks wonderful. Then you have this nice trim right here for the chrome. You have some axes here for some more chrome work. Then you have some more translucent clear pieces right here. Then you have some standard looking nice technical pieces for the chrome exhaust, for the dual exhaust. And the piece of resistance is honestly the hood itself, which opens up just like the bonnet of the car. And you come here to the trunk of the car, which is very fantastic. And you have a lot of space in there, which I was hoping was enough space to put in all the extra pieces this set gives you, because this set gives you a lot of pieces, and we'll get into that in a second. But I tried to fit as much as I could inside of it, and it just doesn't really close that well. So it's a nice little addition, and you can put some pieces in there if you want to, just to keep it going. But that's pretty much all you got for the trunk of the car. Still, it's wonderful, that spoiler action, which let me just slide it over on the side. The spoiler action is pretty fucking tough itself, and I enjoy it so much. Like, it's just so cool. And I feel like you can open this a lot more than the actual bonnet of the car, because that one doesn't go that further, which you wish it did, because you want to see more details of the engine bay. But instead you get a decently made trunk here, which uses all the flat pieces as you saw earlier. So a lot of flat tile work in here just to give off more of a look to it. So no, it's a pretty good trunk and a good tail end of the vehicle. Let's go on the interior now. All right, so this car does have a wonderful interior, and how the ways to get into that is you can open the doors to get into these lovely seats, or you can take off the top and make it a convertible, as it just fell off. Now, one thing about this top that I really enjoy is the fuzzy dice they add onto the rearview mirror to hang down with the little sticker for the actual mirror part, which I really enjoy. You couldn't get the 454 big block in here, but you will, damn it, get these wonderful fuzzy dice to really give the Americana to it. You know, that's fine, that's okay. I enjoy it, but you can take this off and make it a convertible. It is fully customizable. So we're going to take this and dig into the actual interior of the car. And the interior comes in a wonderful red and dark red colors. I want to say more like a maroon colors, which really does look wonderful with the full out color of the car. You do have a normal kind of gray bottom carpet, which probably would have been red as well, so maybe a little extra detail on that, but instead we just have a normal light bluish gray plates in the bottom for the actual carpet. But other than that, no, these seats are awesome. You get a 4-seater, you get 2 in the back in the passengers, and then you get 1 passenger side and the driver's side, which is really fantastic. And one of my favorite details about these seats is that you can move them up and down, so you can go into the car fully, which is fantastic. It is not minifigure scale, so you can't really put any minifigures in there. I mean, you could, but they're gonna look wonky. Got your shifter here, and then you got your steering wheel on the side, which does move the tires. Which I think is really fake. Which does move the tires. And it's actually very limited in mobility to how far the tires can actually turn. I do think I have seen better mobility and turning radiuses in different car sets, in the 911 RSR and in the Batmobile itself. But it's okay. It suffices. It does what it needs to do. And the actual steering wheel does move up and down. I think one of the weakest spots in this actual design is the steering wheel itself. And I say that because the steering column is really just technically routed in. It's not really built into the set or the dashboard, which is kind of annoying. You can kind of see it there. So it's just, I don't know, very bare bones. It's very not well incorporated in the rest of the set. So I'm not really a big fan of that. I also want to point out these wonderful side hinges they use for the arms of the doors, which really probably makes it why it's so fucking smooth to close these doors in, which I really love. You also have some nice little handlebars here, and the color scheme kind of runs on the car doors as you go. Now, as you can tell from the dashboard here, we do have only one element there. It is a little sticker with the speedometer right there on the dashboard, which is wonderful, and then you have a radio as well for the dashboard. So that's really much it, except for one more detail I like to point out on the back side here, which is this lovely little magazine of, what is that, Model Team Magazine Hot Rod, which is cool, and it kind of goes in the back. I don't really know why it's in here, but it just is. And this number 5 printed piece, which I'm trying to figure out why it is in there. I don't know if it's because it's a 5-speed manual, and I'm trying to figure that out myself. Still the many mysteries of the set that I haven't figured out. Now, the other thing you can do with this car is, like I said, this is a convertible, because you can convert it to that, is, as I go through my bag of tricks here, a wonderful back headrest piece that you can add by removing this back window piece and then simply attaching it right there, which does very well, and it still comes in the same color scheme as the rest of the interior, so that's awesome. And it's just one of the other details you get for the customization of this car itself. I'm choosing the hardtop. I'm not going to have the convertibles. I don't care much for convertibles. I think the hardtop with the fastback looks pretty mean and aggressive, so that's the way I'm keeping it on, even though it doesn't really stay on that well. All you got to do is just retach it back like that, and boom, you have a pretty solid set. But other than that, the interior looks pretty good. Don't really not a fan of that. And my biggest complaint would probably have to be the actual windshield, because it's not really attached to much on here. It's just a 1x2 plate on the sides, so it's not really good gripping ability. Not really my overall favorite for the windshields. And you have some stickers on the side which kind of go off and give more of the black accents. So it's okay, not my favorite, but it gets the job done. And that's pretty much for the interior of the full car. Let's go do a roll test. And as you can tell, it rolls, which is actually kind of cool. I mean, that's really much the playability that you have with this set. Nothing else really special for it. The wheels roll very wonderfully. The turns happen very quickly, and the steering wheel is kind of loose. Not a real fan of that. Wish it was a little bit harder to steer, but that's okay with me. Not really meant to roll around. It's more of a display piece than anything, so that's all right. But yeah, it rolls well. The wheels are well, except for just a little bit of the weakness in it, I believe, with the steering wheel, but that's okay. That's pretty much it for the roll test and playability. All right, next, let's look at the more customizations that we can do with this car. And one of the big selling points for this set is the full customization that you can do with it, because the Camaro came in a bundle of packages, bundles and bundles and bundles of packages you can get. Z28 is one of the more popular packages, so we already know that this set will have some customization to it. And that being said, we will have some pieces to trade out with. And we already looked at a few. We have the rally headlights that you can do. We have the wonderful headrest you have to put on when you make it a convertible, which is cool. And you come in the options of red and white for the racing stripes to go onto the paint job that replaces this dark bluish gray. I kept the dark bluish gray. I like dark bluish gray on black, so I kept it, but you can do the white or the red. And that's really when it comes down to customization what you have. But the biggest problem with this customization is you just have all these fucking pieces, and because you replace pretty much every flat tile work that is dark bluish gray on the body. And it just gets tiresome after a while. You look at it and you're just like, that's a lot. That's just a lot of extra pieces I have to deal with. A lot of extra pieces I don't know where to put, and I want to keep them organized and not lose them. I'm thankful for it, but it's just a lot. And you can't really put it anywhere. You can't really store them with the set. It'd be cool if you could. I mean, I guess you can put it in the seats in the interior, but that just kind of kills the whole vibe of the interior. And you can't really put it in the trunk either. So it's something that is just a problem. I think there's too many pieces with the set. It's probably the biggest drawback I have. The overall build for the set is wonderful, but just the customization itself is a little bit overwhelming for me. And I think that's the biggest drawback of the whole thing. If it was a better way to store them, then I think it'd be kind of cool, but it's not. Instead, I just have this mess of pieces I have to keep around with me every time I have this set. But that pretty much wraps up the customization of this car. I'm going to go on the final thoughts now for the Z28 Camaro. Overall, Lego really knocked this out of the fucking ballpark. They really were able to capture the American spirits in this pony car. They were able to just take the smell of bacon and gasoline and exhaust and the smell of rubber and the feel you get with switching out banging gears in your 5-speed manual with the roar of a 302 290 horsepower V8 engine underneath the hood, all in wonderful Lego design. It really knocks off all of the check marks you need. Good build, good design, really just looks like a Camaro. It's awesome. I love the customization with it. Wish I had a little ability to hide these pieces better, but besides that, it's just a wonderful, good Lego set. If you haven't built it or bought it yet, really do buy it. I don't know if it's $170 is really the price I'd want to pay for it, but $150 probably would be better for that. This is Lego set 10304, the Chevy Camaro Z28, straight from 1969. I'm Scott. Those were the bricks. This is the review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Stay for more. I'll have content coming out the ass end more and more as I go, because I fucking love doing this shit. And thank you for all the support you've given me. All right, this is with the review. Thanks for watching. Thanks.